Twilight Gets a Puppy. By TDR. Chapter 56. Brindle Gossip. Epilogue 2. The next day. Twilight Sparkle winced, her ears twitching as she fought back the darkness of sleep that clung to her brain like a too-tight sock she couldn't pull off. "She's waking up," stated a less than calm voice. "Seems we came at the right time then," claimed a calm voice. "Verily," agreed a somewhat angry-sounding voice. Opening her eyes, Twilight winced at the light only for it to quickly dim. Standing around her were four figures, a large white alicorn, a smaller dark blue alicorn, and a pink alicorn, and a gold-furred grey-maned earth pony in a doctor's garb. There was also a white female unicorn in the room with blue hair, and as Twilight's eyes adjusted she saw Spike draped over the unicorn's back fast asleep. "Who?" Twilight began, her mouth feeling dry as the Badlands. A glass of water was quickly offered to her from the doctor. "Drink slowly. Please be silent and remain calm, Miss Twilight. You are suffering from magical burnout, and you need your rest. My name is Dr. Home and I am your primary physician while you are in Canterlot General," the earth pony stated. "Your horn is currently fitted with the inhibitor, so you might feel a bit numb around the base. While I doubt it will be much of a issue to someone with the well of power you have at your disposal, please do not test the limits of the inhibitor as they are expensive to replace." "How?" Twilight stammered, coughing, as she inhaled some of the water. "Ross rushed you to the doctor's office in Ponyville. They didn't know how to deal with Spike and didn't have the capacity to deal with this level of magical burnout. They sent for a life flight and had you sent here." Celestia spoke. "That is something I suppose I may need to address soon. Ponyville is far too large to not have its own hospital." "Where?" Twilight began. "Ross is fine. It seemed after he dropped you off, however, he tore out of the doctor's office as fast as he could. Auntie Luna found him a few hours later at Sweet Apple Acres. Apparently he had taken it upon himself to eat 3 trees worth of apples by the time he was found. He's currently in another room trying not to vomit over everything." Cadence offered. "I love how everyone is ignoring my order for her to be silent and stay calm." Dr. Holmes snorted. "You don't know my student. Better we answer her now than allow her to get up and try to find the answers herself." Celestia chuckled. "Why?" Twilight started. "Thine brother Spike explained the poison joke incident when he woke for a time. We believe that to be the root of it. Thou transformation into a dragon, Spike's to a dog, and Ross's to a pony are the crux of it. As a dragon thy form was not producing the same sort of magic as normal, nor was Spike. This mattered little as Ross was a pony and wasn't feeding on it. The moment thee returned to normal, thy magic built up rapidly without its usual outlet. Hence the seeming surge Spike thought thou were having. When Ross returned to normal, his body considered itself under attack, as the magic had been cut off, and it reacted, by drawing more magic from all on the connections he possessed, thou and both of your other brothers. He also felt starved beyond reason and sought to eat until sated, hence his current predicament, when all he really needed was more magic, not real food. Still, were it not for Shining Armor's collapse when his magic was drawn down the link, we might not have known even this. It is interesting to see that there is enough magic in those apples to sate something like this." Celestia offered. "What?" Twilight started again. "Shining Armor is fine, not enough magic was drawn through his connection to do more than get him to black out." Cadence offered with a wide smile. "Isn't that right, Shiny?" The white unicorn mare grumbled something, shifting a little, trying not to look at Twilight in the bed, a tinge of red forming on her face. Still she was careful not to shift Spike too much on her back. "Seems the poison joke worked through the link. Your brother will be most appreciative if you could present the cure to him." Celestia chuckled. "For poison joke?" Dr. Home questioned. "That's a rather easy cure. I've a book with the recipe here in my office. It's a rare thing given that poison joke only grows in the Everfree, but I'm sure Quack and his office have a copy of the book too, with how close they are to the forest. What bothers us, is how Shining Armor's change was not brought up until the point he fainted. Luna questioned with a barely noticeable smirk. Was he not spending the day with thee, Cadence? Shining Armor turned a deeper shade of red and Cadence flushed quite a bit herself. Luna's grin grew wider as Celestia and Twilight face hooved. Yes, Princess, I was, Shining Armor muttered. Re-a-a-ali. Luna nearly hissed, her smile getting wider. Stuff it, Auntie. Cadence growled. Like you wouldn't if the chance presented itself. Too much information. Twilight and Celestia whined. Luna, however, started laughing like a loon. Dr. Home evidently had enough and ordered the lot of them out of Twilight's room. Asterisk. Later, in another part of the hospital. Luna paused at the door, looking through the window into the room where Ross laid across a bed, his head hanging over a bucket. She sighed softly, her ear flicking as her sister came up behind her. It is time to return to our duties, Lulu. Celestia stated. Cadence is staying here, as is Shining, for treatment for his condition. Luna smirked at that, though it dropped almost as soon as it formed. With practice we believe that this can be avoided. We would suggest that to him we're not asleep. Luna whispered. I don't think any of them will want to try again. Celestia countered. He should, perhaps we should work on a way to see if it can be made permanent. Luna frowned. I think he is fine with how he is. Celestia offered. He was pulled here against his will, Tia, in a way we cannot fathom and that thou has not even figured out. He cannot go back, and with what could happen here. Better that he have a normal life as a pony and forget what he is supposed to be. Lulu. What are you talking about? Ross is. He is not the only one of his kind, sister, he is simply the only one of his kind here. That cannot be right. What of the WITC? Celestia began before Luna whirled on her, her horn striking her sister's, sending up a series of sparks into the air as Luna growled. Do not speak of the abominations. Celestia took a step back, her eyes wide at the rage in her sister's eyes. She had not seen that since Luna had become the nightmare. Fortunately, Luna seemed to realize how she reacted and drew back from her sister, as well as her ears drooping to her head. Sorry, Tia, but no. If one even were to consider using such means again, we would smite them ourselves, and we would take our sweet time about sending them to the next life. Luna exhaled. That is not a viable way, and we shall accept no other suggestions of such. I'm afraid I don't understand. Lulu. Celestia stepped forward again, reaching out a wing. Luna sighed and let her sister hug her with it. We were their matron, their creator. Ross, like the others, is as a grandchild to us. And we were forced to betray that trust, to make monsters. That they forgave us so readily is more painful than we can bear after what we did. Ross should not be here, he should be there with the others. You know where he came from? Celestia blinked. Where? Luna blinked, looking up at her sister curiously as if she was being messed with. Sister, thou was there when we created the moon dogs. How does thou not recall what we did with them? Celestia blinked, turning red as her ears flattened to her head. Luna rolled her eyes. Right the rutting. By the stars, we are surprised the whole of Ekis is not still punch drunk on the tales of thy exploits with thine suitors. Lulu. Sister, how many ponies were there before our fall? Luna asked suddenly, turning to pull away from her sister's wing to head down the hall. Several thousand, if I recall. At least around Winnie Shire and the towns we knew of, not counting the Empire, of course. Celestia considered heading alongside her sister as they walked down the hospital's hallway towards the front door. And how many ponies are there now? Luna asked calmly. I would say likely in the millions. I've not seen the official census this year, however. But that is both ponies and other races that have come to Equestria. Celestia listed. It matters not if they are pony or not, only that they are our subjects. They fall under our protection simply by their presence here. Luna claimed. That is not much an answer, Lulu. Celestia snorted. Several million souls, dear sister. Luna offered with a small smirk. At what point did you start to think our power so great that we are able to patrol the dreams of several million souls in only a night by ourselves? Author's note. And thus we have more details about Ross and what happened. Also Granny Luna and Shiny Armoire. End author's note. End chapter 56. Brindle Gossip. Epilogue 2.